I'm off to go find it on this wet winter afternoon. I'm going to be heading to some new woods today. The woods at the back of the rugby pitch on our back field. The first word that Mr. Sippitt has given me to find is Spotty. Let's see what I can find that is Spotty. Well, I'm here at the edge of the woodland and I've found my Spotty. The pattern that this lichen makes on the bark of this birch tree is Spotty. There you go, Mr. Sippitt. Spotty.
One of my words that Mr. Brownlie has given me to challenge me today is to find something huge. And it says here, bigger than my head. Okay then, let's go see what I can find. Something huge, something huge, something huge. Something bigger than my head. Ah! Something huge! This is a piece of oak. Now it was left here by the woodsmen that look after this land. And they would have taken the trunk, which would have gone that way, which would have been long and straight. And they'll take that back to a sawmill. And they'll dry it and they'll cut it into planks and to beams, maybe for construction, or maybe even for some furniture. Maybe even a piece of furniture that's in your house. But they left this bit because here it would have been two big branches that came off, two big, what we call limbs. And that's no good for splitting and turning into things like beams and planks. So they leave it here to rot down back into the ground and to feed the trees around. Yeah, right. I think that's my something huge. What's next?
My next word in this Go Find It challenge is thin. Now this is going to be a bit tricky around here because everything is very, very big and chunky. Where can I find something that is thin? Maybe I'm going to need to have a closer look at some of the chunky things around me to see if I can find something thin on them. So I came over to this big fallen tree because I noticed that some of the bark was hanging off, and this bark is really quite thin. But when I looked very, very closely at the bark like this, I noticed something even thinner, and it's just up here. Where the tree has snapped, a spider has made a web. So there we go, Mr. Sippitt. In the crook of this broken tree, I have found a thin spider's web. What's next?
Now my next word is something tiny. Now I have an idea about what I want to find, but I'm going to have to look really, really carefully to find it. In fact, Mr. Brownlie's asked me to find something so tiny, it fits in that little circle. Better get looking then. I found it. There we go. This tiny little thing is the seed of a silver birch tree. So from this little tiny thing grew this tall tree behind me. From that tiny little seed.
The last word that Mr. Sippitt has given me is yuck. This is a hard one because I don't really find anything in nature disgusting or gross. Not even animal poo, because animal poo can be really interesting to look at. So I don't know where I'm going to find something that I would say yuck to. Gonna have to really explore to find this one. Well, it's taken me quite a bit of looking, but I finally found something yuck. And that yuck is this pile of litter. What a shame that somebody has come into this woodland and dumped these things here without caring about the forest, about the wildlife that live here, or the fact that this litter could sit here now for hundreds of years, polluting the environment. Littering. Yuck. Right, I'm off. Thanks, Mr. Sippitt, for the great words and for giving me an opportunity to tidy up the forest so that it's nicer for the next person that comes through here.
My last one is something heavy, and I know exactly where to find it. Come on. Here we have our something heavy. This is a slice of a London plane tree that grew somewhere else on our site. So it hasn't got roots and it didn't grow here, but we got it moved here because sadly the tree itself became very sick and it was at risk of falling down, so we had to take it down. But I asked us to keep a slice here, and we use this as a desk or a table and sometimes somewhere to gather around. I put hot drinks on it and all sorts of things. But that is definitely very heavy. Heavy.